friends, so spending time with you. Get next to you, get next to me, get next.
Hello, I've just been quickly running around putting the lights on. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really pleased you're here. I'm really looking forward to going through 4 ways to manage difficult people. And I think if I said that to you already, you're thinking, God, yeah, I know some really difficult people. And I just want you to take time. God, I sound really calm and I'm trying to speak slower. I'm trying to think about how difficult people affect you. Like, what happens when people annoy you or get you frustrated or wind you up, or you just like, why are they doing that? And I'm sure if you drive, you can probably think of some times when people have cut you up or done something wrong. And there's also people probably close to you and know you quite well, and they sometimes say things that upset you, or there may be someone you work with or an acquaintance who kind of, says the wrong thing. I really want you to think about how that leaves you feeling, because you usually get that gut-wrenching feeling and all those horrible, like, ugh. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is not to get you annoyed, not to get you all worked up about all the annoying people in the world. It's to make you realize that you are creating this frustration and you can uncreate it. Okay, it's about changing your thought processes and how we respond to it. Because as much as I would love to give you a magic wand and you could go out and change people, that ain't going to happen. It's about changing how we respond to them. And also, when we change how we respond, we can manage them differently and you'll find that their behavior changes. So first of all, thank you. Well, I've said that. Thank you for joining me. If you are here with me today and you're live watching me or listening to me, could you just say hello? Put a comment. If you're doing this, watching on replay or a video, just say replay, just put a comment, ask any questions. I always check. It doesn't matter if this is like 10 years old, I'll still be checking. Yeah, probably, definitely for the next 12 months. So if you're here, say hello. Okay, so think about why you want to be able to manage difficult people in your life. Okay, you know that upset or that frustration or that feeling you get in your chest? Do you want that? Some people quite like being angry. I've been walking to school a lot lately, and there's a lot of sort of angry, grumpy people out there, and I think they might want to be, but I don't think you do. Okay, if you're watching me on Facebook, don't forget to click your name, allow Facebook. I'll put it up. Look, put a little caption. Chat restream, because otherwise I can't see your name. But hello, whoever that is. So, okay, so what we want to let that go, don't we? Not let it go. If someone's annoying or rude, you're not just going to say, that's fine, be rude to me. But you know that kind of feeling when you're like trying to make sense of why that other person did what they did. And it's just gets stuck in your head and it's going around and around. And yeah, we can let those things that when we're getting cut up in the traffic light go quicker because they're strangers and you're like, oh, just go away. But that stuff when there's like your partner, if your partner can sometimes be difficult, or someone you work with. Yeah, okay, think about how much easier and lighter and stress-freeing it's going to be when you can manage these situations and manage these people. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel lighter. And that's what you want, isn't it? You want to be happy. Say yes, Bianca. Yes, I want to be happy. Okay. So the reason I was just saying about the people, because the way we manage the 3 types of people in our lives, we have spheres of influence. Now, people who are close to you, like your partner or your family, will have a vested interest in your happiness, or they should do. If they don't, maybe you're not in the right relationship, but I'm not saying leave him or her. What I'm trying to say is you're going to be able to manage and get more sort of reciprocal behavior going on. If it's just an acquaintance, someone you are working with, someone who's in your team, or your boss, or yeah, managing a difficult boss, that's a good one. I'll talk about that during the session. But also strangers, people in the shop who just bang into you that are rude. They're kind of difficult. They're in their own little world doing their own thing. I was watching a Facebook post from a woman saying how rude people were because they were really close to her, especially in this environment. And you kind of like, oh. So what we're going to do is find a way of responding to that. And that's going to be great, isn't it? Because then you're not going to allow other people to get you upset. You're not giving away your power. I know we say giving away our power, but it's about saying, actually, I'm going to focus on what's important and responding to what I want from my life instead of allowing myself to get stressed about things that other people are doing. Okay, so hello, everyone. I'm so pleased I have some people here. It's great. So first of all, why do you want to manage difficult people? How is it going to make you feel better? Yeah, really? Do you? Because some people actually quite like being angry. Do you want to be angry? No. No, you don't want to be angry. You don't want to be frustrated. We're going to find ways to let that go. And these are, I mean, there's millions of different ways. I've chosen 4 that are most effective. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Bianca Valenta. I'm an award-winning life coach, and I specialize in personal success, getting to the place where you are living your dream life. And what I do works. So I've got these little captions, I put them in today. I hope you like them because I thought help me stay focused as well. So the first thing is, what you see isn't how it is. Okay, just take that in for a minute while I have my energy drink. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, you see something, you see someone being rude, you see your boss sort of being inconsiderate, you see a person in your office not doing any work, and yet you're work slaving away trying to get everything done, and they just sort of take their lunch break and they don't seem to care. Or your partner, you know, think about a time when you are around difficult people. And if you can put in the chat something, who do you find difficult in your life? What is when we're thinking about, because you're here because you want to manage these difficult people, who is it that you find difficult? Now, I find a number of my clients find children-in-laws quite difficult because they're almost powerless to work with them. And if you're a children-in-law, it doesn't mean you don't love them and you don't like them, but the relationship is quite hard to navigate. If the difficult people is someone you work with, just think about, okay, when I'm with them, what is going through my head? How am I interpreting that behavior? There was one in the group saying about how actually it was about her behavior being interpreted, but like kind of feeling stuck. You know, that like, actually, there's nothing I can do to change this person. And the answer is, you can. You can change your responses. And when you change your response, their behaviors will probably change. So what you see isn't how it is. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to go through 3 examples, one for like people close to you, people who are acquaintances, and strangers. Strangers, indicators. You know, when you've got the indicator, you press it. That's my personal bugbear, that people don't use indicators, and I get annoyed with them. What I need to do is say, I interpret their behavior as being rude and selfish and inconsiderate because I'm on the road too. And if they thought about me, they would put their indicator on because it's the rules. I'm a rules person as well. Truth is, that person has a very different mindset about what's important to them. But the thing is, I'm interpreting what they're doing as being rude and inconsiderate and things because I'm basing my judgment on them, on my values. And that sounds hard, but I really want you to think about how you're filling in the gaps. We talked about it last week, but what are you interpreting from their behavior based on yourself? Because if I did that, it would mean that I was selfish. Okay, if you, your mum says, oh God, that outfit's not very flattering on you. You sure you want to wear that? Something like that. And you go, oh my God, that's really mean. Why would she say such a mean thing? Maybe she's trying to hurt me. Maybe she's trying to put me down. She's never supports me. You never consider it. And then we responded. And what the thing is, what you're seeing isn't how it is. That person might love you. Hopefully your mum does. And say, oh God, I want her to go out looking nice. And it wouldn't be nice of me to look at her and think, God, she looks awful. I better tell her what I'm thinking because then she'll know I love her. Whereas you're saying, if she loved me, she wouldn't say those mean things. So what I'm trying to say is you're filling in the gaps with what's going on in your head, but it's not what's going on in theirs. Okay, so what you see isn't how it is. When your boss comes and says, get that report done, you're always like, blah, 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 and doesn't see all the stuff you're doing. What's going on for them isn't necessarily, oh, I've lost track there, but it's not what you see isn't how it is. I'm going to leave it there. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm just going to see that thing. I find my family stressful. Everything I do is put down, so don't really have much to do with them if possible, because they drain you. Yeah, they're drainers. Okay, and it's about saying, how do you interpret their behaviors? And sometimes, yep, it's about distancing from people. I don't like the word toxic. I like the word different. Okay, the way they see the world, the way they respond to things is different to you, because toxic implies some people are right and some people are wrong. And there isn't. There's people, we're all different doing our own thing. Okay, so I want you to think about how you fill in the gaps. Okay, I go to my next caption. If you've got any questions on that, let me know. Say I don't understand that, but I think it makes sense that actually what you're seeing, how you're interpreting it, isn't what they're thinking. Yeah. So, second thing, embrace your values. Now, I know that sounds a bit woo-woo, doesn't it? Embrace your values, hug a tree. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean that you are an amazing, considerate, but supportive person, or you might not be, but I'm assuming you are. There was a woman who posted, who I'm mentioning, went to a shop, loads of tourists, far too many people in the shop, banging into her. Don't they know it's social distancing? They're so rude. They just come here and think they run the world. Okay, I get that. That's what's going on for you. But what I replied to her was, you know what? What we're missing is you being kind, considerate, compassionate. Instead of focusing on what people aren't, focus what you are. I had a client last night who was saying how she gets sort of frustrated with people and like flares up and just reacts. And what I was doing is talking her through. She's lovely. She's this lovely girl who has an amazing partner and just bought her own flat. And she's not a girl, she's a woman. I don't know why I said girl. And it's about saying, okay, rather than getting annoyed for that person cutting you up, you're a considerate driver. Okay, that's your value system. You care about people, you follow the rules, you're loyal, all those things. So when someone, say, is talking about you and you think, why would they do that? Why would they talk about me? That's really disloyal. I would never do that. Okay, that is because loyalty is one of your values and it's important to you. It's not important to them. Okay, so when we're looking at values, it's about saying, okay, I can get annoyed with that person for not thinking about the world the same way as I do, but instead, what I'm going to do is value myself for what I've got. Okay, that sounds a bit tricky, but for example, people, I can't think of any. I would really need you to give me some examples so I can talk you through it. But when you are really focusing on who you are and what makes you great, you can say, God, thank God I'm not that person. Thank God I'm considerate enough to give people 2 meters distance because I care about their health, the economy, all those things. That makes me happy to be me. Not, oh God, they're rubbish to be them. Bring it back to you being a good person. Does that make sense? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So every time you feel yourself getting annoyed with someone else for what they're not doing or what they're doing wrong, bring it back to you doing the right thing and being grateful for you being the person you are. Yeah. Okay, the third one. And don't forget, we want to do this. We want to get rid of this frustration. You don't have to be happy about being you. You can be annoyed and keep on thinking about how that person annoyed you or your partner. You know, they should know. They should know I don't like them leaving the dishes in the sink, or they, you know, no, they do, or their value system are different. But it's about you saying, God, I'm really pleased I wash the dishes, I put them away, and I'm finding a way, and I'm not going to lose it, change who I am. Okay. Second thing I was going to say on that, embracing your values, it sounds a bit woo-woo, I know, but I couldn't think of any other way of putting it, is recognizing that there's no right and wrong way to think. Your way, we are designed to think our way of thinking is the right way. And people who don't think the same way as us are thinking wrong. Okay, it's wrong. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And I don't want to get into very politically heated areas. But when, politics, prejudice, all these things, it's about everyone has their own value system. Okay, and you might disagree with theirs. You might not think it's right. I think it's nice for people to leave the doors open for me. I think it's manly. I think that's important. Not everyone thinks it's important. Now, if someone doesn't leave the door open or check behind them, doesn't mean that person's wrong. And that's going to be a hard one because we're designed to think the way we see the world is the right way. And what we are going to do is say, it's okay for people to think differently. Okay, it's okay for people to have different systems. What they're lacking there, they'll make somewhere. Yeah, and that's going to be hard. You don't want to say it's okay for people to spit on the street. I don't like people spitting on the street. People do. That's their choice. But it doesn't mean that they're rude and disgusting people because of the behaviours they have. I'm trying to think of another example that my clients came up with, which when we're interpreting people's behaviour, but it's about saying that does everyone want to be exactly the same, living in this perfect utopian world where we are all following the rules and doing exactly what we're told? No, we all are different, and it's about embracing that and recognizing if people don't do it my way, I think it's the wrong way. When you give people advice, I think you should. That's why seeing a coach is great, because they don't say, I think you should, and tell you what they think you should do. But people do, because that is the right way, especially when it's emotional stuff and they care about you. Okay, number 3. Can I get the caption up? Yes. Okay, number 3, don't take it personally. Okay, it is hard when someone's pushing you out of the way, or you see someone jumping a queue, or when your partner or boss, or when the employee comes in, or someone you work with and seems to get away with murder. Do you have anyone in your office or the place you work who is just a plodder or a moaner, or no matter what you say, they're like, we've tried that, it doesn't work? Those people, I call them disruptors. They're like cynical and they're difficult. And actually, the truth was they used to be a firework. They used to be engaged. But over years, they've got cynical. And so I want you to think about, how do you manage those people who are really quite difficult without taking it personally? I've asked them to do this and they haven't. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this at the beginning. If you've got kids, don't try and apply these to kids. Kids are not fully cognitively developed. You are there to support them. You are not there. They are not difficult. They are struggling with something, and your job is as parent to support them. But don't try and, don't take it personally. That's fine with kids. Try not to. But don't kind of apply these to kids, because it doesn't work. So, talk about value sets and things. You'll just get bored, and they'll get bored and frustrated. So don't take it personally. When that person is doing something to you, or not considering you, or not thinking about how you're feeling, how do you not make it about them treating you that way? How do you make it about them being them and not take it personally? Okay, and you can find your way. You can think of a way that you have got upset, and family, siblings have a real way of pressing our buttons, okay, because they know what's going to hurt us, okay. But then ask yourself, what's under the iceberg? Why do they want to say something nasty? And it's usually about stuff that's going on for them. If the boss comes in stroppy, or your husband or wife comes in after a bad day at work and is just like grumpy as, and you're like, what the hell have I done? What? It's usually not about you. There's a whole load of stuff going on for them that you can't even see. And if we could do that cartoon thing with the big thought bubble, and you could see what there's going on, you'd realize it's not about you. And when you keep telling yourself, it's not about me, it's not about me. And if you think maybe it is, and they can't, then say, what's going on for you? Find out what it's about. But those, you can't really sort of do that with strangers, excuse me, I've noticed you just cut me up in my car. What's that all about? You can't. But it's about not taking it personally. They're not there to piss you off. Okay, they're not. There's sometimes I remember working with people, and I know some of my husband's friends actually take pleasure in trying to get a rise out of people and piss them off, especially bloke sense of humor. They enjoy it. But don't take it personally. It's more about them wanting to feel good about themselves by putting other people down. So what's really going on for them? And I'm just thinking about, examples where clients have said, it made me feel really bad. It made me feel really upset. And the truth is, we can't be made to feel anything. If you know that you're doing a really good job and you're doing the best you can, that person can't make you feel bad because you know you're doing the best you can. If your partner complains about the state of the house because he's had a bad day at work, then you say, okay, well, that's about him. I know I've done the best I can. I work. I've got kids, all the things that are going on for you. So work on recognizing when you're like, oh, it's a criticism. I'm taking it personally, and say, it's not about me. You know what? It's not about me. It's about him or her. They've got stuff going on for them. What can I do to support them? Try it. Give it a go. What are you going to lose? That was really loud. Give it a go. Because there's something here that I'm giving you is going to work. And it's worth it. It's worth it. Because you're going to be stress-free. You're going to be calmer. You're going to be happier. You're going to have better relationships with the people who count. Like your kids, or friends or family, people you really like and love. Now, this is the most important one. And I'm going to have a go at doing the captions again. Turn that one off. Hide it. Go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Ask yourself if you can be assertive or confident. Because when we feel we're taking it personally, we're being criticized, we're being disrespected, okay, our defenses go up and we go into fight and flight. We feel attacked. And when we're feeling attacked, we fight, we flight, or we freeze and do nothing. Now, thinking about that woman in the shop where the tourists were being really disrespectful, being really close, what she actually wanted, she's like, oh, I nearly gave her a what for. Actually, what she really wanted to do was say, excuse me, could you keep your distance, please? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Well, coming to the end of a pandemic, I would like to stay healthy. And that's it. That's all she had to say. But because she was feeling disrespected, under attacked, unappreciated, and there's a whole load of other stuff about tourists and taking over their areas and all stuff, she couldn't say anything. And she went into angry mode. This is really bad. I'm feeling disrespected. And then just walked out. Okay. And when we're in, so it was fight and flight. She did both. The truth is, when there's difficult people and making you feel attacked, making you feel defensive, you feel powerless because it's going to come out wrong. And I've noticed a number of my male clients have this difficulty. They say to their partners, their female partners, and if that's the case, or someone in their life, don't be gender specific. Okay, you say something because I'll lose my shit if I say it. I don't want to say anything because they're kind of scared of what their response is because they're not comfortable with who they are. I'm thinking it's okay to assert myself. It's okay to make a request. It's okay to say, you know what? This isn't okay. I don't like this. And giving an option of what they would like. Please, could you stand back 2 steps? And I want you to think about how you are currently managing difficult people. Okay, do you go into fight and argue with people? I do with my sister. She was watching last time I was talking about her. She's like, hi. And I was like, oh, I'm talking about you. But I love her. I want to have a good relationship with her. But thinking about siblings, how do you respond to them when they know they can press your buttons? Or parents who say the wrong thing, okay? What do you want to say to them to clearly set your expectations about what you would like to happen? Then at least you're being you. You're being true to you. You're being your authentic self. Sorry, that was really, but being authentic and genuine. Okay, it's okay for you to make requests of other people. Okay, within reason. Walking along the street, excuse me, stay away, get out of away. Be reasonable requests. Okay. If you are feeling confident in yourself and you believe that it's okay for you to do that, then how much easier is it rather than getting annoyed with that person's behavior? Thinking about your boss who's like, I need that report because he's got stuff going on at home. I need it report. They brought the meeting forward. What do you want to say? Really, not like off. What do you really want to say? Which is, what? I get that you want this report in by then, but I can't do that. And I'm not willing to give up time with my kids and work till midnight tonight. Okay. What is it you can negotiate? Does that make sense? What can you say that you really want? Okay, because when you say to that person, and this is the golden egg on top of the tree, that is the worst analogy ever. Okay, it's a golden egg, full stop. Is say, I get what you want. Okay, I understand that you're asking for the report and you really want it straight away. And that must be really frustrating. If you can do that, the golden egg, tell them you understand them, you know what you want, they want, and you are getting it. And then say, and, no buts, and I'm going to do my best. Hopefully, whatever it is, try and just associate, because when we're managing difficult people, they've got the stuff going on. And if you can try and work out what's going on for them and say, God, yeah, I can tell you're frustrated. You really want that report and what you want to happen. Or, oh God, I can tell you're in the middle of a conversation, the person in the shop. I can tell you're having a really good time and you've forgotten about the rules. And I would really like you to give me a little bit of space. Okay, because that's probably what's going on for them. They're probably not selfish. That is the key to managing difficult people. Recognize what's going on for them and then say what you want. Okay. How do you think that's going to be difficult? Because sometimes when we react, all we care about is what's going on for us. And we're feeling angry or frustrated or disrespected. So if you cannot take it personally, take a step back, see that they're seeing it differently, because that boss might not care that you want to spend time with your family or go home or you've got a party, or that person is in their own space and say, God, yeah, I can tell that something's going on for you, and then think about that. Okay, well, it'll be really great in the comments. Put down some really difficult people that you have in your life, and maybe just like one specific person rather than a whole, because Jem, I'd love to be able to help you with your family, but the relationship you have with your sister, brother, mum, dad will be very different, and they'll be saying things that put you down, and you interpret it's putting you down, but you're great. Okay, and you have to ask yourself, what is it behind what they're saying? Okay, is it to make you feel bad, or is it just what they do and they've forgotten how to do anything differently? Okay, and it's about saying, how do I respond when they put me down? How do I see it differently? How do I say they're not actually putting me down? They're trying to help me in some way, because everything we do has a useful purpose. And you're like, Blanca, no, they put me down. They're mean, and I get it. And you can carry on thinking that way. It's absolutely your choice. All it's going to do, though, is leave you this ball of anger and upset and disappointment. And what we're going to do is try and change that. Yeah? Can you see how you can stay with anger, upset, and disappointment and frustration? But what we can do is change the way we think compassionately, and then that goes away, because it's what they do differently. That's how they do what they do. Okay. So I also want you to think, one thing you do is making assumptions when we fill in the blank. Try and recognize when you're looking at someone's behavior and you're interpreting it as something else. They're doing that because they are. And it must mean that person hasn't texted me. It must mean, and that kind of thinking process. When you hear yourself filling in the blanks, stop yourself, okay? Because you do not know what's going on with that person until you ask, okay? So if you've got any questions, feel free to get in touch. If you're not a member of the Facebook Stress Free Life group, please join, because then you can interact with me, ask questions, work on yourself. And finally, next Thursday, 12:30, don't forget to join me. I'm looking at putting in boundaries, how to say no, when to say yes. You know, so many clients, I just can't say no. I'm a people pleaser. I try and do everything for everyone. Yep, okay, at the expense of your sanity. So how can you put in boundaries, whether it's work-life balance, whether it's about sort of friends and family, doing too much for too many people and leaving yourself feeling overwhelmed or stressed. Think about that, because it's going to be great. Because think about how much nicer it's going to be your life when you can say no to people without feeling guilty. Okay, without feeling guilty that you're saying no to someone, when you're putting your needs in the mix, not first, not last, just looking at your life and putting your needs in there somewhere. Okay, I look forward to seeing you next week.